Welcome to Maths Video 22 on Area and Perimeter. Section 1, Perimeter. The perimeter is the distance around the outside of a 2D shape. Therefore, the perimeter of a field is the distance around the outside of a field, and it's also the area around the outside of a field as well. So a perimeter fence is a fence put around the outside of a building or a field or any other area. To work out the perimeter, we add up the length of all the sides. So for this quadrilateral, we simply add up 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7, which gives me 19 centimetres. For regular shape, we multiply the length of a side by the number of sides. This works because if I add up the same number that many times, it's the same as multiplication. Let's look at this pentagon. I have a pentagon of 7 centimetres, so my perimeter will be the 5 lots of 7. 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. I'm adding up all the sides. But that's 5 lots of 7, which is the same as 5 times 7. Give me a perimeter of 35 centimetres. Section 2. Area of a rectangle. The formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width. I can also write that as A equals L times W, where L represents length and W represents width. Now if we've got two letters together with no math symbol in between, it means multiplication, so I can also write that as simply A equals LW. The units for area are the units used for length squared. For example, metre squared, centimetre squared, millimetre squared, kilometre squared. If we look at an example with centimetres to look at Y, I've got this rectangle with centimetres and centimetres. To work out area, I do length times width, so I'm multiplying centimetres by centimetres, and anything multiplied by itself is squared, so centimetres times centimetre is centimetre squared. Let's look at an example. I have a rectangle here with a length of 7 centimetres and a width of 3 centimetres, and I want to know the area. Well, first of all, I start by writing my formula. Area equals length times width. I then substitute the numbers, so L is length, which is 7, and W is width, which is 3. I then do the sum. A equals 7 times 3, 7 times 3 is 21. I must remember my units, and my length is centimetres, so my area is centimetres squared. Area of a square. Well, a square is a type of rectangle, which is length times width. But length and width is the same in a square. So it's the same as length times length, or length squared. Let's look at an example. I've got this square of 7 centimetres. Area equals length times length, which is 7 times 7, which is 49 centimetres squared. Area of a triangle. A triangle is half a rectangle. If we have a right angle triangle, that is actually quite obvious, but it's true for any triangle. So if I have this triangle seen in blue here, that's actually the same area as the area of orange around it that makes up the rectangle. And I can see that by cutting blue triangle at dashed line here. And what you will see is this dashed line here, which is the height of this blue triangle, is the same as the length of this side of the rectangle. So my formula becomes half that of the rectangle. Half base, where base is the length of the rectangle, times height, where height would be the width of the rectangle. And height must be the perpendicular height, not the height of the side. The only time it's the length of the side is when we have a right angle triangle. So my area can be written as half b times h, where b is base and h is height. And again, I don't need to write the multiplication, so it can simply be written as half bh. Let's look at an example. I want the area of this triangle here. Well, the area of a triangle is half base times height. I then substitute in the numbers, so half stays as half. There's no math symbol between the half and the b, so I multiply. 7 is the base and 4 is the height. I then multiply. Now half times 7 gives me 3.5, and I don't know my 3.5 times table. It's easier to do half times 4 first, which gives me 2, and 2 times 7 is 14. Remember, it does not matter what order we multiply anything in, we get the same answer, so do whatever is easiest. Section 4, complex area. To find the area of a more complex shape, we do the following. Divide the shape into rectangles and or triangles, work out any missing dimensions, find the area of each section individually, add or subtract the areas as necessary. Let's look at an example. And I want to find the area of this shape here. There are actually many ways I can do this, and it's not that one's right and one's wrong, it's just that they're different. So don't worry about you doing a different way to somebody else, it really doesn't matter. The best thing to do is to jump right in and start working things out. So first of all, I'm going to cut off this square here, and I'm going to make a triangle here so that I've got a full rectangle here. Now I can work out some lengths. So this here must be 2 because it's a square, so that's going to be the same as here, so that's 2 centimeters. And because the whole length is 6, that means that the rest of this here, the width of this bottom rectangle must be 4 meters. Looking at this side here, this is 2 meters and the whole length we now know is 4. So this red part here, this height of the triangle must be 2 meters. Now if I look at this rectangle, the whole length must be the 2 here plus the 3 here, giving a length of 5 meters. And so across here I've got 4 meters here, so this bit here must be 1 meter. I can now work out areas. If I look at the square at the top to begin with, 2 times 2 is 4, so that part there is 4 meters squared. Looking at this whole rectangle here at the bottom, I have 4 times 5, which will give me 20 meters squared. And then looking at this triangle here, I have half base times height. I'll halve the 2, which is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That gives me 1 meter squared. Now the total area will be the area of this small square plus the area of the large square minus this triangle here. Because if I had the area of this whole rectangle, that would include that, but it's not part of my shape. So if I look at this in numbers, the area of the small square is 4, plus the area of the large, which is 20, minus this triangle, which is 1, giving me a total of 23 meters squared, which is my answer. Bye for now.